Hey guys, hope you are doing well. So happy 4th of July if you are celebrating in the US. And guys, so these are volatility was expected for this long weekend during the holiday, but actually it was a really good consolidation for Bitcoin and Ethereum. My name is Mike Denkler from CorionX, and we are bringing you the most important crypto news, technical analysis, altcoin, NFT, DeFi gems to keep you updated and educated. I should state that nothing in this video can be considered as a financial or investment advice, so everything just for your education and entertainment purposes only. So guys, smash those like, push the bell notification, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and smashing those like helping out the YouTube algorithm. So let's go and check what's happening out there. Let's go and let's see what do we have on our favorite bubble chart. And padam, yes, so green, we see Bitcoin is up 2.3%, Ethereum is up 4%, and Ethereum broke 1100, and we see few altcoins are doing well, especially Rune, Sand, Quant, Avalanche, Engine. So Atom also doing well in a slightly 5% plus. Let's go and check out our favorite indicator, the crypto fear and greed index. It is still in extreme fear zone at 14, and yesterday it was at 11, so still we are hovering around 10, and this is an extreme fear. And you know, when investors are too worried, that could be a good buying opportunity, but always take in mind that asset prices can fall further, even if fear can be much harder and wider out there. So let's go and check out our first news. Wide ride lower for BTC, 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. So Bitcoin price bites its time over long weekend, so that was this kind of consolidation, and also that Bitcoin tried to broke down 18,600, but actually it hold. Been a very boring few days in the markets, and this is classic for a mid-range. And I share these charts on my Twitter feed. We will look into there. And the Dixie stood about 105 of the time of writing this article, so Dixie is still high, but and also that was a higher high, higher lows, and now let's see if it will break down here. Then we will see a lower high. Gold nears blast off against US equities. So what else do we have? Yes, after bottoming out at the end of 2021, the ratio of gold to the S&P has recovered throughout this year and is now about to cross a boundary, which has historically led to significant upside afterward. Gold closing in on blast-off zone versus US equities. Previous takeoffs have unleashed important gain for silver and miners. Okay, gold closing on blast-off zone versus US equities, and we'll see if there will be a takeoff or not. After escaping the sideways pattern that had formed for a 1.5-year period, the correlation coefficient increased sharply to 86% versus S&P 500. Okay, so now this correlation is at 0.78 ratio. It remains strongly positive. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and Nasdaq are still trending together. Note previous bottoms happened as BTC and QQQ correlation at peak, suggesting macro has always influenced BTC bottoms. We can predict more likely that macro calls for Bitcoin again this time. Let's watch this. So this is from Venture Funder. This is the Bitcoin price, and this is the Nasdaq, and a kind of a correlation when Bitcoin price is just introduced in Nasdaq. Cool. Crunch time for Hayes, a wild ride to the downside. So recently Arthur Hayes always just threatening the market. This is perfect setup for yet another mega crypto dump, and he's talking about this holiday weekend. Mining difficulty is still rising, so difficulty is still at highs. A sea of lows. This is from a Glassnode, the UTXO, number of UTXO in loss. So number of UTXO in loss is the second higher level after the COVID crash. Percent of the UTXO in profit, yes, it's just going down. And mean transaction fees, cool. Guys, let's go and check out our next news. Bitcoin approaching peak opportunity zone according to top crypto trader. So guys, now we will have different opinions from Rec Capital. Historically, the 200-week moving average has figured as a bottom indicator for BTC. In this cycle, things may be a bit different. Instead of BTC bottoming at 200-week moving average, it may form a macro range below it. Anything below 200-week moving average will likely represent peak opportunity. Across its entire history, BTC has always downside deviated below the 200-week moving average, but this time the downside deviation hasn't had a strong, quick recovery back above the 200-week MA. The BTC recovery may take longer, but it's still a downside deviation nonetheless. BTC is reaching historic levels of overselling. At some point, this extreme overselling will coincide with the point of maximum financial opportunity. BTC may still very well be in the downtrend acceleration phase of its correction, but this phase will precede the multi-month consolidation phase, which will precede the new macro uptrend phase. So after bottoming out, the new macro uptrend will starting soon. Veteran trader Tom Weiss warns of another Bitcoin collapse after disaster week. Okay, so what is his downside prediction? The weekly chart is having a disaster candle once again. It's a red star candle. It's going to close near the lows unless there is a monster rally, but it's a holiday weekend, so I doubt it. Right now, this is a bearish look. The 4-day chart, also a bearish look. That's why we are in 10%, not 10, 100% cash. The daily chart is getting ready for a momentum reversal indicator buy. That's good news. What's the bad news? The bad news is if we are about to break very critical support, and that can send the price of Bitcoin significantly lower. So we are going to keep an eye on this development, and hopefully early next week will be a nice turnaround with an MRI buy similar to what happened 2 weeks ago. So MRI also indicating something here. Cool. Next piece of news is crypto likely to rally in coming months as traditional asset fall, says CEO of 1.1 billion US dollar hedge fund Dan Morehead. Okay, he says the prices of digital assets will likely be going up in a year as interest rates hikes cause traditional assets to trend downwards. One of our central views is that although obviously interest rates have to impact bonds mathematically, and they almost have to impact stocks, and then other things like real estate will certainly be targets of the Feds, there are some asset classes like cryptocurrencies that should be uncorrelated or disconnected from the interest rate markets. Although it hasn't happened yet, crypto had been very correlated with risk assets. I can easily see a word in a year when stocks and bonds are down, real estate is down, but crypto is rallying and trading on its own. very much like gold does. Or soft commodities like corn and soybeans all doing very well, so that's the word that I think we will see. Okay, and he is, yeah, then more heat. The fundamentals in crypto are still very positive. Obviously, we had a huge bull market, now a huge bear market, but I have been through 5 of these so far, and for 10 years we have been investing in crypto, so it's not unprecedented. We have seen it a lot. Yeah, guys, so this is something that I really like it. 5.1 billion US dollar is something. Crypto analyst who nailed Bitcoin collapse this year issues warning, says fresh BTC price imminent. Crypto Capo, it's time. This is exactly what's happened. Support to resistance flip, another bull trap, strong rejection, and straight to new lows. So he thinks that Bitcoin will break down here and going down as deep as 16,000. BTC more accurate projected roadmap for the potential local bottom formation around 16,000. So this is for 1st of July, but that hasn't happened yet. Okay, expecting 50% drop on altcoins from current prices. I have become the nightmare of the bulls, but soon I will be the nightmare of the bears. Okay, so he is somewhere that turning to bullish from bearish. Let's go and check out our next news. Bitcoin inverse correlation with the US dollar hits 17 months highs. What's next for BTC? Bitcoin and the dollar go in opposite ways. So dollar is getting stronger, Bitcoin is getting weaker against the US dollar. And this chart is, what is this chart? So Nasdaq, this orange, Bitcoin, this purple, and the Dixie, the dollar strength index, is the blue one. And you see when dollar index is going up, other asset classes are going down. Will dollar rise further? What's priced in now? US swaps market has been repricing to a lower rate scenario. I personally have a bias to short the dollar at some point. Yes, so guys, definitely this is just shouting out that let's short me. Finally looking like the DVXCI will topple down hard in perfect confluence for a melt up scenario. When the dollar goes down, stocks and crypto rally. Cool, let's make this happen. Next piece of news is Bitcoin addresses in loss hit all-time high amid 18,000 BTC price target. So guys, you see in the past few days everybody just shouted 18,000, but that hasn't happened. Bollinger Band signal volatility due. Okay, and this weekend volatility shakeout that not so good. Bitcoin Bollinger Bands tightening on the daily time frame as displayed on the width indicator. Okay, Bollinger Band with its tightening. Yeah, so this is also the Bollinger Band and it's tightening. Underwater addresses surpass March 2020 peak. So yes, you see that number of addresses in loss, just reaching the previous all-time high that happened in March 2020. Some have quit, some have stuck around. One thing is for sure, if you have been in this space over the last year and you are still here, you have been through quite a lot of volatility. Bitcoin could crash to 10,000 US dollar in one final flash down, says CNBC analyst. Here is his timeline. Brian Kelly, the guy. The good news is that I do think we are getting a lot closer to a generational bottom. The bad news is that it might not be until Bitcoin hits 10,000 US dollar. We are probably months away from a Lehman moment, meaning that kind of one list flush down, somebody big goes bankrupt that you never expected. We are probably months away from that. The catalyst for it's going to be inflation expectations picking up, and every central bank in the world is making a policy error. And I think if you get those three combos, a final flush out of all this leveraging Bitcoin down to 10-15,000 US dollar, somewhere around that, and inflation expectations spiking up, picking up, which I see coming in the next quarter or so. And we all know every central bank has already made a policy mistake and likely to continue to do more. That's the perfect scenario for a Bitcoin, for a bottom in Bitcoin. Yes. Next piece of news is BlockFi announces a deal with the FTX US, including option to acquire for 240 million US dollar. So 400 million revolving credit facility, an option to acquire BlockFi. So that provides some liquidity to BlockFi. So according to CEO, the 400 million US dollar credit facility, 240 million acquisition price, and other potential consideration totaled 680 million for a company that had 5 billion valuation in June 2021. So guys, this is how the valuation can go up and down from 5 billion to just a little bit more than $500 million. So lost almost 20%. Peter Schiff's bank closure strengthens Bitcoin case for financial freedom. So Peter Schiff, the gold bag, bank accounts have been frozen and have been closed. It cost a fortune to run a small bank. That's why I never really made any money. The compliance costs are outrageous. So this is why the irony of this is so hilarious. Peter Schiff, you do realize that if you had been using Bitcoin, this would not have been possible. You should be loving decentralization. Okay. Cool. Next piece of news is Senator Indira Kempis proposes bill to make Bitcoin legal tender in Mexico. Okay, and the bill bases its action on the hardship that Mexican citizens are facing when trying to access financial products and education. However, the Central Bank of Mexico has been against the introduction of Bitcoin into the financial system of the country. But now the senator just submitted this. So guys, let's go and check out my Twitter feed. Definitely follow me on Twitter at MIKLOS. Follow Korean platform, and definitely follow laserpunk_gods and give a like and share. So breaking news: bank for international settlements to allow banks to keep 1% reserves in Bitcoin. Give a like and share. Another opinion from Altcoin Sherpa that the bottom is a few months away and Bitcoin will chop around and being in bear market for a while. Yeah, so that nobody loves that. And he expects Bitcoin will chopping around this 20,000 or whatever the bottom will be. That Bitcoin volume peak 2 weeks ago was the bottom. Okay, let's check this. As a general rule, trading volume is the highest when markets capitulate, and such capitulation creates major bottoms. This weekly chart includes the aggregated Bitcoin volume for most BTC pairs, spot and perpetual across exchanges. Volume hits all-time high 2 weeks ago, so these can be capitulation events and bottoming out events. spot ETF in the US could help a lot for these big banks to move from bonds to Bitcoin. And if they would put, let's say, 5% of the total bond market into Bitcoin, that would make Bitcoin price cost 320,000 US dollar. Bitcoin is eyeing with historical low levels on these moving averages. Bottom should be close, and so these are different moving averages. So guys, that's it for today. Definitely visit our farms. Go to farm.app.corion.farms and provide liquidity on PancakeSwap, and just look up some APIs and then earn juicy nice APRs here. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for smashing those likes, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.